All right, cool. So I have with me Frederick Binet, Senior Director of Product Website and Advertising at Traffic to discuss Google Vehicle Ads. How's it going, Frederick?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
Good, good. Cool. So, like, really big news when it comes to Google Vehicle Ads. They recently launched at the 2022 NADA in Las Vegas was when they released it, Google, in March. Automotive retail never had this platform before. And so now we're offering it. Maybe you could tell us a bit about like how we were able to set this up and get it going. It was only really 30 days after they released it that we're kind of offering it to dealers.
That's correct, and it's really like a nice product coming from Google. So for the auto industry, of course, like they had the experience also with the shopping campaigns for e-commerce, and the result was pretty much good there. So it was making sense for them also to just release that. Good opportunity during the NEDA to do the release. What we're seeing on our side, because we're piloting that kind of campaigns with traffic for the last 3-4 months now. At the beginning, it was really like to look a little bit more on how to onboard new customers, what's going to be the onboarding process. And what we realized really fast, it was the performance of those campaigns. So overall, it's great. I think we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about that. But mainly, when we're looking to activate the VA campaigns, it's pretty much straightforward. So we need a feed with the inventory, and then we're creating a Google merchant account where we can put the feed in, and then we're generating the campaign through Google Ads. So for most of the dealers or people in the auto industry, we never used Google Merchants accounts before. So it's something new. So we had to create all of that. But once it's done, honestly, it's pretty much straightforward. So all of the optimization is going to be done through Google Ads directly.
So Google Shopping's been around since 2012, like you mentioned. Well, that's when the rebrand took place. They started calling it Google Shopping. And of course, I think everybody knows about, if you search like running shoes or brown leather jackets or kitchen appliances, you're going to get those shopping ads across the top. Why do you think automotive has not been a part of that and why it's just releasing now? It's been like 12 years at least.
That's a good question. So after talking a few times about that with Google, they were mentioning that the price point to buy a car compared to a pair of shoes is totally different. So consumer was not really, were not necessarily there at that time. What we're seeing right now with the online buying experience coming from Tesla and other manufacturer, it starts to make more sense also to have shopping campaign for the auto industry. So I think that was one of the reasons. Of course, Google always trying to generate new revenue, and that was just the logic way to do it for the auto.
I think I think you're onto something there too, because like digital retailing, Moto Insight is one of our partners, and like there's a lot of obviously retailing going on online. In fact, recent Google study talked about 6% of new car buyers ordered or purchased their vehicles online in 2021, which was up 1% from 2 years before. And then even 50% of car buyers are considering an online purchase for their next car. So tell me a bit about then. So somebody's going to buy a car now. So what's the journey? So now automotive, they have a lineup of vehicles. Cool. What happens after somebody clicks it now?
Well, what's really great with the vehicle ads on Google compared to the original shopping campaigns is we're redirecting the user directly on the vehicle detail page of the dealer website. What we're seeing for e-commerce, most of the time they're going to be redirected to a Google landing page where we're going to be able to see the product and just buying from there. So the dealer or the commerce was losing the user on the website for tracking, but also for remarketing or offering additional products. With VA, that's the main difference from what we're seeing with the e-com is really to bring back the user on your website. So after that, it's easier to remarket that person. It's easier to offer additional products, additional service. So I think it's just more healthy for our businesses.
And then, so, okay, of all, e-commerce is great and everything, but there's search.
Yeah.
Search is still valid, I believe, correct? So maybe you want to talk about like the combination of having, a complementary strategy of search and Google VA working together.
Correct, and that's really interesting because of course, we need to mention that the vehicle ads gonna appear on the Google search result page. So it's when the user is actively looking for something. So the user is gonna put some criterias like a used SUV, 2022 Honda Civic, and then they're gonna see the vehicle ads and then the search ads. It's always been the same thing. So who's gonna own the top of the page? A few years ago, I remember like talking about that, but for mobile. So who's going to win that part of the page? With the vehicle ads, it's a new kind of competition. So it's a combination of what the user is searching for, and then we have the ads with the image and the text, and then we have the search ad. So being able to have a good position when a user is in that state of mind, I think it's the best combination. From what we're seeing right now, results seems pretty much good, but there's still some experiment that Google's doing in the States in the States, and then we'll see if that's coming also in Canada.
I see the beta that Google did saw a 25% average increase in conversions when search and vehicle ads were combined together. So that's pretty good. So basically you can dominate the entire page now, Google VA, then a search ad, and then your organic ad. Maybe even an OEM ad too with geolocation. So you could probably have 4 spots in the top 10 kind of thing.
Correct. And what I like about that, like both are working with the pay-per-click. So if people are not clicking on your ad, you're not spending more. So even if you have the vehicle ads who's appearing and the search ad, like most of the time, you won't pay twice for that.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, so let's say search is based on keyword bids, organic is based on keyword relevancy, but then VA is not based on keyword bids, right? Is that correct kind of thing?
Correct. So with traffic, we're working with the smart shopping campaign. So we're letting Google selecting which vehicle should appear based on the queries that the user put in. What we're trying to achieve with that is to see if Google AI can really understand the intent of the consumer and then showing the best ad possible for that.
Okay, so the Google AI definitely does something, but traffic is an AI itself. It's kind of a machine learning software dealer breacher. So I guess everybody, and I'm sure not all agencies have this, right? Right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's only specific agencies.
That's correct. Yes.
And traffic is one of them, so that's good. But most people, what they'll do is they're going to hook up their vehicle inventory feed, and then they're going to hook up a Google business profile, correct? Because it's location based.
Yeah.
Most will then go to Google Merchant Center. But traffic optimizes. I want to talk about that part of it because that's really what differentiates maybe an AI provider like Traffic to other providers who just use Google's AI instead of tethering in an AI.
Correct, and that's a good point that you're mentioning. So of course, Traffic is using a lot of AI into their platform. And the way that we're working our AI is to understand exactly how Google's working, and then we can add some layer of complexity. So that's really what we're trying to achieve. I don't think we're going to be able to beat Google AI just because the number of resources in those projects are just like too big. But on our side, what we're trying to make sure is it aligned with the dealer strategy? So we're trying to make sure that search campaign, VA campaign, display, social, everything is aligned with the dealer objective, making sure that we're spending the budget where it should be. So let's say that you have some kind of models that you know it's going to be sold really quickly. Maybe we won't invest money on that one, on those ones. On the other side, if you want to make sure that you're following your strategy of selling your cars in the first 30 days or 60 days, well, this is where we're putting more pressure on those vehicles, making sure that you're going to be able to sell it as fast as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense because obviously with feeds, that means they're taking every single piece of inventory in stock.
Correct.
So you have to, our strategists have to then make sure that your clicks are going to the right VDPs, the right vehicles, or going to waste money, basically, is what it is. So what does a dealer need, like let's say on their landing page, or even just mandatory requirements so that like, you don't waste clicks or your ads don't get rejected, let's say from the ads. What are like the mandatory requirements and obviously best practices for the landing page and the VA ad?
Yeah, so I'll try to stick with the basic stuff. So of course, in part of your feed, you need the year, make, model, stock number, making sure that it's a used or a new car. Having the image of the vehicle, super important with the image, not having any overlays or not having like a fake background behind the vehicle. So they are trying to keep the ads as clean as possible. So that's the first thing. After that, what is really important is the redirection. Where are we going to send the consumer? And then they're asking for a few more information about the vehicle. So it could be like number, colors, interior colors, exterior colors, and of course the price of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. So an ad will get rejected with those overlays, because they always have overlays, these guys, a lot of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a gray zone where sometimes it's going to go through, sometimes it's going to be blocked. So we're trying to define where the gray zone is starting and where it's ending. And that's I think also, like, if we're looking at what's happening at the dealer on the dealer website right now, most of the vehicles already have overlays. So I could expect Google to maybe change their mind or maybe reduce a little bit their standard regarding the images.
Yeah, I think it really shouldn't be on the image itself. Like it really should just, like what it says, an overlay on the site. But we'll see. I think a few ads have been rejected with overlays. I think you can get them through at first, but they get caught eventually. Obviously, the algorithm, right?
Correct. And I just feel like Google was looking more to have like stock images instead of the real images. But like it's been 20 years I'm like in the auto marketing industry, and most of the time like the real images of the vehicles are sending way more than stock images.
Yeah. And dealership background's okay, or they really just want just a straight background, right?
Well, they're trying to define if it's the real background or a fake background. Where they're gonna stop, where they're gonna start to block some images is gonna be when we're gonna see the brand on the dealer or the dealer name in the background.
Yeah. Or
for that as an overlay.
Or those cheaper dealers that put all the sale, and price, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course, like Google's trying to move away from that, and on our side.
I'm used to that stuff. So the results look pretty good. We did a beta. We got $3.97 cost per thousand CPM, right. 46 cents cost per click. Wow.
Cheaper than search ad for now.
That's cheaper than search ad, right?
It is. We'll see what's going to happen in the future. It's super important to understand that it's the early stage. So the metrics might change a little bit in the future, but still great product. And I think it's gonna make sense for pretty much everyone in Canada.
So, and then 24 cents cost per VDP, which means at least they're seeing 2 VDPs, right?
Correct. So the fact that the ad is redirecting to a dealer website VDP, we could expect like pretty much the same thing in between the cost per click and the cost per VDP.
Right. When one click, one VDP.
VDP lower, that means that they shop for more than one car, which is good.
That's good, yeah. And we want to see that lower. And then a big one is $19.08 cost per lead.
Correct. I think it's still like a hot topic, so we want to talk about lead. Of course, like cost per click is important, cost per VDP also, but cost per lead right now is super good. And I know that it's an important metric for Google, so they're gonna try also to optimize the way that they are showing the ad and the way that the product's gonna work in the future based on that. That's what I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah, and Google does say you're gonna get more qualified leads. That's coming from them. Hopefully we'll say the same thing, but obviously time will tell. The other thing, okay, so how can somebody get on Google Vehicle Ads? What do they do?
Pretty much simple. So if you're not a traffic customer, I will suggest to try to find who's your traffic rep or T-Advantage rep and going through the trader ecosystem to reach out to the right person. Once that's done, super easy. So we are scanning your inventory on a daily basis, making sure that we have the most accurate data for your feed, and then our team is gonna take care of setting up everything for you.
Cool. Okay. So if you don't have traffic, then we will obviously love to welcome you and get you onto Google Vehicle Ads as well. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes.
We accept any and all stores, OEMs, I believe, and we could do any website too, right? Doesn't have to be an internal website, correct?
Correct. So no matter who's your website provider, like we're going to be happy to work with you. Our technology is working with everyone, which is one of our advantage. So I think it's totally worth it to give it a try to.
Okay, good.
And
really excited.
really important also, like if a dealer is already advertising on search or display with another provider, we can also support on the VA campaign, which is different than if you're trying to split your search campaign in between two agencies. That's not something that it's recommended, but with VA it's a little bit different.
Right, yeah, because they don't bid against each other necessarily.
Right.
They have different intents. Yeah, it'd be really interesting. I've seen a few. Have you seen a few? Have you seen them around?
Of course.
Yeah, I've seen a few, not too many, but the advanced guys are on it. They're on it. My clients are on it, so it's this is good. But it's not rampant, so you can really take advantage, right? Like
we're seeing that the early adopters are already on it. Like because of those people, this is why we are able also to talk about the pilot and the kind of result that we saw in the past. It's great, and it's great to see also what's happening in USA right now. So I'm spending a lot of time there, talking with a lot of people there. The product is a little bit different, so it's maybe what we're gonna get in the next few months, next year. So I think everything is positive regarding that as of now.
Yeah, yeah. And then used car stores and new car stores can sign up?
Correct. What we're seeing right now is mainly on used car. So new car, Google seems to look a little bit more on how they're going to advertise those. So I think it's a good idea to start with used car and see what kind of performance we're going to get through that, and then moving with new car when the system's going to be ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because they wanted to advertise MSRP, but a lot of stores don't have different, either more if they add accessories, the price is going to be higher, or cheaper. Obviously, they want to undercut competition or do a loss leader. I think that's why, right? They're just trying to figure out the MSRP and sale price and maybe some other items.
One of the point, and we need to keep in mind also Google are there to refine their product and looking at what's going to work the best for the consumers. So it could be like related to the images, the kind of feed that we have, pricing.
Okay.
Pricing, I think it's really important also. So when we're talking about new car pricing, it's a little bit, the structure is a little bit different. So
Yeah,
that's
of course.
the cause of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to continue to promote it to everybody that I talk to, and I hope you're excited too. Is there anything else that you think we missed?
I think like it's been a while since we had a new product like that from Google.
Yeah, it's
We had
true.
like Performance Max, which was a regroupment of different kind of ads, but
Sure,
like
sure.
a brand new product like that from Google. It's been like a few years, so really excited. I know that they work hard on this one, making sure that it will perform, and making sure also that the consumer is gonna like it. So I think it's up to everyone to take benefit of that one and start to jump in when it's still early.
Cool. Well, thanks, Frederick. We'll see how it goes. I'm completely confident, totally confident that this is going to work. I only recommend like the best, I already see it really doing well for dealers and even for consumers too. I think they're going to like it as well.
Yeah, combination of search and VA, I think that's going to be the top for the end of the year.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Ivan.